Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Stanley and along with my wife Jen, we are the Crumbs in the Philippines. As always, we very much appreciate you guys watching our videos and are very thankful to those of you that have subscribed. Please, if you enjoy this content or find it informative at all, just give us a little thumbs up and share it among other people that might find our videos helpful should they decide to move to the Philippines or another country for that matter. Today we're going to talk about Social Security, the Windfall Elimination provision, which I fall under that category when it comes to Social Security, and how that affects retirement in the Philippines. Just hang loose. That's what we're going to talk about today. We'll see you on the other side. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Social Security and just a few things associated with that you might find useful when it comes time for you to get your Social Security. Now, I'll start this off by saying that I'm not an expert in finances or Social Security, and I'm not trying to give anyone advice on how they should approach when to draw their Social Security or how they make their decisions. This is something that everyone has to find out for themselves, but I'm going to show you what I did, and if your situation is similar to mine, maybe this can help you out a little bit. If you already live in the Philippines when it's time for you to file Social Security, when you decide to do so, you can still fill out the application online at the Social Security Administration's website using your My SSA account, and you just apply like normal and go through the whole process. And whenever you submit the application, however, if you live in the Philippines, your application is going to go to the benefits section at the U.S. Embassy in Manila, who are going to handle the processing of your application. And that's also the office that you need to contact should you have any questions or you ever have any problems with your Social Security payments. And that website is online as well. And I'll throw some links up at the end just to familiarize yourself with it should you find yourself in that situation. So I just recently applied for benefits because on September 5th, that'll be my 62nd birthday, and I've decided to take my Social Security benefits at age 62. And there's two reasons why I decided to take my Social Security benefit at age 62. The first being that I'm still relatively young. I feel young, I'm active, and I'd like to be able to enjoy that little extra bump in income during the years when I can appreciate it the most. And also, most of you will agree that there's a lot of talk recently about the Social Security program and its solvency and the future of it, and with it being up in the air, you just never know what's going to happen. I believe that the government will come to some type of solution and keep Social Security as an institution that it has been for so very long, but you just never know should they decide in the future to reduce the benefit or even restructure it or change the program altogether. So that was another thing that factored into my decision. And the last thing that made me decide to file at age 62 was a thing called the Windfall Elimination provision in the Social Security Code. And that is, if you work at an employer who does not take Social Security out of your pay each pay period, then you fall into a different category in the Social Security system. Now, teachers in Missouri, where I worked, and several other states, I'm not sure which all states there are, but you can find those very easily online. I know Texas is another one, but they don't take Social Security out of your pay while you work there. So even though I qualified for a Social Security payment based on my work history prior to becoming a teacher in Missouri, I still fall under that WEP category, which reduces my benefit quite drastically. And I'll show you the numbers on a slide at the end and how that affects me personally. Now, just my own opinion, I find the WEP program to be kind of unfair. I don't really understand why my benefit would be reduced, because it's actually based on, and the calculation that I get on my statement each year is based on the years that I did contribute to Social Security. So I paid into the Social Security system for 21 years, and you're required to have 21 or 20 credits to qualify. And so I had over 20 years from paying while I was in the military and so on. So I did qualify for a Social Security payment. Now, when I look at my statement, it says that if I were to retire at age 62, my full benefit would be $1,358. But when I plug all of my numbers into the WEP calculator on the Social Security website, I see that my benefit is going to be around $687 a month. That's quite a reduction in pay. So anybody out there that's a public servant, a fireman, a teacher, a policeman, somebody that works for an employer that doesn't pay into Social Security, you're going to fall under that category. Now, I feel sorry for teachers that taught in these districts for years and years, and they never worked at any job that paid into Social Security, because then you don't qualify for a Social Security payment at all. Luckily for me, I met the requirement to at least qualify to get a Social Security payment, even though it's at a reduced rate. And I'll show you the calculation for how much I earn in Social Security, what my break-even points would be for if I waited until age 67 and then age 70. And just to get, just as a tidbit, if I were to wait until age 70, it would take 242 months for me to reach the break-even point, given the fact that the WEP impacts my benefits so much. So that's over 20 years. Another reason that I decided to go at age 62. So just a little bit of information for you guys to digest, and I'm going to throw some links down and some calculations and try to give you an idea of what you're looking at as far as Social Security. I know for me, I've been here for 2 years without Social Security, and I've been just fine financially. So Social Security is just an extra bump in income for me, and yet another reason I decided to go ahead and take it at age 62. I'll just throw that Social Security payment into my house payment and then be done with paying for housing here in the Philippines that much earlier. The earlier I get to that point, the earlier I'm going to be able to save some significant money and do some investment in my Schwab account that I talked about earlier, that I recommend to most people to have a Schwab account with a debit card when you move to the Philippines. Because not only can you buy and trade stocks and options and futures and all of this just right on the app on your phone, you also get reimbursed for all the fees that you incur at an ATM. I do all of my financial transactions using the Charles Schwab card. And then at the end of the month, I get an ATM rebate, which covers all of the fees for the month. So I end up getting really close to the advertised exchange rate from the IMF online that they use every day. And all the banks around here, they always kind of shave a little bit off of the advertised rate or the actual worldwide rate that changes on an hourly basis. But that's how they make a few extra bucks. But on the ATMs, they make their dollars on fees. So they don't really adjust the exchange rate that much. So if you're getting all these fees back, you're getting very close to that actual exchange rate. So anyway, the Social Security, if you do fall under the windfall elimination provision, I don't know how you personally feel about that, but I know for me, no matter how I look at it or how I think about it, I just can't see how that's a fair way to do things and reduce someone's benefit just because they, like in my case, I worked at a job for 10 years that did not pay into Social Security. So why should I be penalized for the years that I did pay into Social Security? Because my benefit is only calculated based on those 21 years. It's not calculated based on any income that I received as a teacher in Missouri. So for me, I really have a hard time understanding the purpose of that, unless you're earning millions of dollars and not paying into Social Security. Then maybe I could see that. And I do know in Congress this past year, there's a bill in the House of Representatives, it's H.R. 82, where they had 270, I think, co-sponsors on a bill that would eliminate the windfall elimination provision. And there's another also, I can't remember what that one's called, GPO or something, but it would have eliminated those programs and made it a lot more feasible and fair to like ex-firemen or just public servants in general that are the ones that get penalized by this program. Anyway, as always, if you have any questions or you want to ask me in detail about why I decided to take my Social Security at 62 or how to contact the Social Security Administration if you're living in the Philippines, it's actually much easier to get in contact with agents in Manila than it is stateside. If you send an email in Manila, you'll get an answer normally within 7 to 10 days. Calling them on the phone, that's a different animal altogether. Usually they'll take your number and say they'll call you back, and it can take as much as 60 to 90 days sometimes. Now, one last thing about Social Security, if you're living in the Philippines and you have a Philippine address, you're going to have to verify every year, send in a verification letter to continue your benefits. I think they do that in order to make sure that you're still alive, you're still qualified to receive benefits, that you don't need to add disability or anything like that, because most of the folks they deal with in Manila are like me. They're expats that are past retirement age, and they don't want to continue paying benefits, because if you pass away while you're living in the Philippines, it might take years before the Social Security Administration finds out about it. So they require us to fill out a form every year and send it in just to verify that we're still living in the Philippines and we're still receiving our benefit and so on and so forth. But if you have any questions or comments, as always, just leave them down below. I really appreciate you guys, each and every one of you that watch the videos. Just want to say hello to my friends and family back home. And if anyone from Salem is watching this video or gets a chance to see it, please, if you have any old pictures or team photos from whenever I coached softball there in Salem, I can't find any of my old team photos. I'd really like to feature those on a video. If someone can send those to me at my email or on Instant Messenger, I'd greatly appreciate that. Anyways, guys, tomorrow Jen and I are going to take a little mini trip down to the Mabini Peninsula, which is the southernmost point of Batangas province. It juts out into the Pacific. On the right-hand side, as you're going south, is the South China Sea, and on the left side is Batangas Bay, and then on past that is the Pacific Ocean. It's a really beautiful peninsula. The beaches are a little bit rocky in that part of Batangas, but there are a lot of cliffside views, and we're going to use this new camera and see if we can't show you guys some of the visual beauty of the Mabini Peninsula. It's a great motorcycle ride. There's a coastal road that goes all the way around the coast of the peninsula. It's about an hour to go all the way around. on that coast road, and there's a couple of really large statues looking out across the water. We'll get some nice video of that. And then the day after that, we're going to La Ia Beach, which is one of the nicer beaches, white sand type beach that's here in the Tongass. It's a very, very nice place, and we'll share that with you as well. Anyway, as always, stay safe, stay happy, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.